For my final project of psychology, I decided to take an in-depth look at one of my favorite video games ever created, Mother 3 for the Game Boy Advance. The focus here is on using video games as a medium for storytelling, and the creator emulating his personal beliefs and views of the world into the created characters and settings. There is a lot of psychological influence to be found here, so sit back and relax as I take you on this adventure with me. The game starts out with the player in control of an 8-year-old boy named Lucas. You are introduced to his family, the father, Flint, the mother, Hinawa, and her twin brother, Klaus. Everything is well, the town is bustling with upbeat folk and feature a variety of interesting creatures. Things turn dark, however, when this fun little game with bright graphics and innocent dialogue reveals itself to be a tragedy. When the animals of the forest are turned into Chimera, a new creature composed of various parts from an existing one, they become emotionally unstable and created to be aggressive. This scene plays out as an introduction of what's to follow in terms of story. Flint, an otherwise respectable and well-liked individual, is thrown into prison, and the first son goes off to avenge their mother. He is shown to be missing, and isn't heard from again. The rest of the game takes place 3 years later, where Lucas, who has basically had to learn to live on his own, with his family taken from him, working to uncover who is responsible for the deadly animal experiments. It should be worth noting that at the beginning of the game, while the characters do have default names, you can name them whatever you want. This title seems to make it clear Itoi's beliefs best, that it should be taken seriously and personalized, players naming characters after themselves or friends. He was happy to hear that people who named Hinawa after their own mother, or female characters who named her after themselves, really appreciated their family members more after that scene, or accepted the death with a warm feeling. In the game, Lucas is able to learn a psychic power known as PSI, for attacking and healing purposes. A neat little touch is that the way you recover your PSI ability is by touching a magic butterfly, which is the universal symbol for psychology. The way you first learn of your unique abilities is also strange, and on purpose because of this developer's intention. The scene plays out and has Lucas, a now 11-year-old boy, joining into a hot tub with this entity, known as a Magipsy, who tells him to close his eyes and relax while being held underwater. The screen fades to black and Lucas discovers the power of PK love. While this is seemingly very strange, it has reason, and of course, nothing actually happened because it is a game intended for everyone after all. He wanted to include a scene like this to approach things from the perspective of an older person, to contrast with those who solely make video games with the heart of a child in mind. Itoi says jokingly in an interview that when he's old, he wants a stranger to come up to him and say, "A long time ago, in 3rd grade, I played Mother 3. I was really nervous and confused about what was going on in that hot spring in that tunnel, and that's what led me to the place I am today." From then on, when you learn a new PSI technique, a pop-up warns the player that the character affected is feeling feverish. The character first gets chills, then walks sluggishly, and finally awakens with the power, feeling refreshed and now armed with a new move. This stems from Itoi's personal belief that good things will follow after sickness. He believes the only way to overcome a seemingly impossible roadblock is to power through, and this feature of the game really showcases that. There are many diverse and interesting character models in the world of Mother 3. In fact, one of the major protagonists of this game is handicapped. The character's name is Duster, and this poor guy is even told throughout the game that he has bad breath and is known for living the life as a thief. Itoi included a person like this in the game, and made him such a central focus because he felt that we should not avoid these people, and quotes that the world of Mother 3 is all about this sort of thing. There are clearly handicapped folk in this world, and there should absolutely be a part of his created one. There is an astronomical amount of charm in this game, and Itoi's humor really shines through. My most favorite example is a part in the game where you have to drain a pond. You're given 3 choices of creatures to help you accomplish that task, and the answer is undoubtedly obvious, even going out of its way including a line of dialogue mocking how simple the solution is. But this is where the game encourages the player to mess around and to not be so serious as to rush through. If you choose the guys carrying the bucket instead of the giant monster that could drink up the lake water in seconds, you are treated with this little scene. Reminding the audience that this is a children's game, there is a scary sequence when the starving characters must consume local plant life to progress forward. Little does anyone in the party know, however, these mushrooms are actually highly dangerous and immediately send Lucas into a hallucinogenic state. During this scene, you see people you've previously interacted with from within the game, including your family members. You can talk with them, and they will say fairly disturbing things, such as the father claiming he is going to beat you, and your missing brother saying he's going to spit in your eyes and kick you. This is specifically supposed to replicate a nightmare sequence, and directly mirrors Itoi's greatest fears of being hated by his friends and family. In the finale of this game, Itoi really wanted something heart-wrenching. After all, the original game's slogan is strange, funny, and heart-rending. Lucas confronts and eventually defeats the mastermind behind it all, only to realize he isn't the biggest threat. The Masked Man is a villain character who has followed Lucas around throughout the entirety of the game. He finally reveals his identity through an extremely emotional one-on-one battle. He is Lucas's twin brother Klaus. However, he is not the same kid that Lucas grew up with, as he is now a chimera himself. Klaus lost all knowledge of who he is, but is gradually reminded through a series of short cutscenes. These involve flashbacks and the deceased mother calling out to both of them to try and get them to stop fighting. When Klaus regains consciousness, he inevitably realizes what he has done to Lucas and everyone throughout the journey, and he kills himself with a jolt of lightning. This is an incredibly powerful scene that not many Nintendo games have been able to capture, and is extremely important because it uses its medium as a completely unique way, something I like to call interactive storytelling. You are the person pressing the buttons. You can really feel for this character and all that it's been through. Itoi clearly showed dedication and put all his efforts into making this as impactful as it can be, and it paid off because it is one of the games that I hold near and dear to my heart, and one that will continue to inspire me for years to come.